What's going on? Welcome back to 100% NUFC full time at Turf Moor. It's just finished. Burnley 1, Newcastle United 2. Get in. That's now 12 points that were picked up. That's 3 wins in a row. We're now on a hat-trick of wins. I don't know where these performances have been coming from, but you wouldn't have said that only 2 months ago when things were looking bleak. You know, since the Watford game, we've looked a team. We've looked, good on the ball. We've looked like we've sort of had that sort of bad period where, Rafa's got stuck into them and they're starting to learn how Rafa wants to play. They're learning his way and we're not scared now to have a go. And, you look at the game, I said in the preview that Burnley are there for the taking. Burnley are not exactly having a good start to the season. They're not doing very well at home either. I think the only win that they had was the 4-0 against Bournemouth, but since then, they've done absolutely nothing. And I'm absolutely buzzing, for this win because it's my first win away from home from St James's Park, and the confidence doesn't seem to stop there. We'll just keep growing and growing each game, and we're getting better and better. And you can only admire the lads. So anyway, let's start off with the team lineup. So Rafa Benitez started off with Dubravka in goal, the back four of Yedlin, Clarke at left back, which was a bit of a strange one. Shaw and Fernandez. In the middle was Diarmi and Key. Then on the wings it was Matt Ritchie with Kennedy, with Perez up front. Up front on his own was Rondon. So just before the game kicked off, there was a half-an-hour delay because of an emergency situation with somebody from the Burnley end in the tunnel. They had to be rushed off to hospital. Apparently they are conscious now, but before that, obviously it's a serious matter, and health does come first. And I do want to wish them a speedy recovery, of course, as they recover in hospital. Let's get into the game. So, we'll get off to a good start. We're taking the game to Burnley. Burnley are all over the place. They're at 6s and 7s. And, the first goal, which was scored by Fernandez, was an own goal by Ben Mee. So basically, Fernandez picks up the ball from your loose area, has a shot, and it takes a nick off Ben Mee and it beats Joe Hart into the top corner. We're 1-0 up, and you're like, right lads, 1-0 up, get in, let's go for it. And it would just be typical Newcastle to not build on that 1-0 lead, but we did. We went straight at Burnley again. We were creating more opportunities, causing more problems. And then, we got a corner, and then it was passed across, and then the ball got whipped in, and Kieran Clarke, of all people, was unmarked. And he managed to divert it past Joe Hart into the back of the net, left-hand side. And we're 2-0 up, and we're in absolute dreamland. We're Burnley, they don't know what's hit them. And the 2 centre-backs have scored for us, and you think, what? Like, we've got Rondon, we've got Perez, and Fernandez and Kieran Clarke have put with 2-0 up. And you think, really? But, it is what it is. We'll go 2-0 up, and we're in a good moment. We're dominating, we're in control of the game. We're creating more opportunities and more chances to put that third goal in just before half time. But as Newcastle always do, we allow Burnley back into the game just before half time. They're putting balls into the box, and they're creating opportunities, and they're starting to fire shots at Dubravka. There was a moment where he spilled it and it went out for a throw-in, and then they get their opportunity. Ball gets whipped into the box, and Burnley are on hand to head in through Sam Vokes. He managed to beat our centre-back, and he manages to loop it over Dubravka, who I think should do better. He should be on his line, not overcommitted. That's a problem I've got with Dubravka at the moment. He's overcommitted, and he's trying to try and tip it over for a corner, but he's just not getting there. And Burnley have got a foothold into the game. They're back into it 2-1. And then as the game goes on, just before half time, they're creating more opportunities, they're causing more bother, and we're just sitting back, we're inviting the pressure on, which is very dangerous, especially when you're away from home and you've got a precious lead. The last thing you want to do is give the home side the initiative to try and get the equaliser. However, that wasn't the case. We'll go 2-1 up, going into half time. And then sort of second half, it's all us again. We're creating more opportunities, causing more bother to the Burnley back four. The one real chance of note that we had was when Yedlin burst into the penalty box. He managed to slide it across to Matt Ritchie, and Loughton's all over the place. He doesn't see Matt Ritchie coming in, and Matt Ritchie manages to put the ball into the rosette, and he should really be tucking that in to make it 3-1 at Newcastle. And you think, around about the 67th minute, if you put that in at 3-1, Burnley are nowhere to be seen. They're out of the game, it's game over. if we can go on and get 4, 5, 6, 7, because Burnley have been that poor this evening. You know, we've probably played our best game in terms of a defensive to attacking, you know, minded play, and you know, we're at Burnley all the time. Hosler also had an opportunity which Perez played him in, and he somehow managed to hit the post and it bounced out to Burnley's rescue. I don't know how Hosler hasn't put that in. For me, he's got to put that in the back of the net. Joe Hart, you know, he's running out, he's committed himself, and Hosler does what Hosler does best, and he misses. And you know, to let off the Burnley, we should really be punishing them. You know, that could have been goal number 4 for the chances that we missed. And then, as you can imagine, you know, Burnley, you know, are starting to grow into the game a bit more. Chris Wood was starting to, you know, get opportunities. He had that one where he fired it straight into Bravka. Great save by the goalkeeper. And then we sort of just go on from there, sort of try and, you know, kill off the game as best we can. But would Newcastle do what we do best? We get nervous, and Burnley started to, you know, really put some pressure on. He did make a forced change. You know, he did bring off. I was meant to say Rondon came off for Hoslu just before. And then the second substitute he made was Isaac Hayden, a more, you know, centre defensive role to play to sort of stop Burnley from counter-attacking and sort of do the dirty work and, you know, sort of defend at the same time and try and get forward as best he can. Burnley were just lumping balls into the box, and was sort of, you know, we were trying to see out the game probably, but we didn't do it as good as we could have done. 4 minutes of stoppage time, of course. Burnley were just lumping it up the pitch. But you know what? They got that free kick at the end, which was, you know, my heart was beating, and I was like I'm hoping that, you know, Burnley wouldn't get the equaliser, because it would just be a cast of our own downfall. But we didn't. You know, we managed to see it out. You know, the free kick went over, and to our relief, the final whistle blew at Turf Moor, and we've seen out the game. We won by 2-1, and you know what? Get in. You know, that's the way to do it. For me, that's what 3 wins out of 3. That's a hat-trick of wins, and may the wins continue, because at the end of the day, we've got some tough games coming up. You know, we've got West Ham coming up, which is not going to be an easy game, of course. And then we've got the likes of, you know, Wolves, Everton, games like that. We've got a really big chance now, you know, sort of stamp authority, get away from the relegation zone. If you look at the Premier League table, we're currently 4 points clear of the relegation zone. That's Southampton, who complete the last relegation spot. But you know what? Who cares about the relegation zone? We just need to keep building. If we could do that, you know, going into the West Ham game and get more wins, that'd be brilliant going into the Christmas period. And you know what? My man of the match, I would have to say it's got to be Diome. Some of the tackles that he was pulling off, some of the challenges that he was doing, he was just putting himself about the pitch. You know, Kennedy had a good game. Okay, Rondon was quiet, but at the end of the day, we scored 2 goals from, you know, 2 centre defensive midfield, defense centre backs. And then, you know, Fernandez has had a good game as well yet again. And I said in the preview, it's going to be hard for Jamal Lascelles to get back into the team, because Fernandez and Shaw, they've got that, you know, partnership, that connection. They know how to, you know, deal with difficult situations. But you know what? 3 points is 3 points. Our first win, you know, away from home this season. That's now 3 wins on the bounce, and you can't be happy with that. Hope all the Geordies get back safe, you know, from Burnley. I will be at the West Ham game on Saturday. There'll be a match preview for that game outside St James's Park. I'll try and get a West Ham fan on as well, building up to the game. There'll be a match day experience. There's so much to look forward to on this channel over the next week as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, put your comments in down below of the game. Did you enjoy it? The team lineups, your man of the match who played well for you. And thank you so much. And like I say, subscribe if you're new. I need another 20 subscribers to try and reach 1,600 subscribers. So if you can go along, subscribe, that would really mean the world to us as well, and it just shows we're building, you know, together in the community of Newcastle United fans. So anyway, cheers, how are the lads?